Hi everybody, it's me Willow and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you guys so much for clicking on this video and giving it some love. While you're at it, make sure you hit the subscribe button and post notification button so you don't miss out on any of my future content, and give me some love on all my other social media platforms. You can find me at Willow D Steele. Today we're going to be talking about some of my most anticipated films to come out in 2026. I did take my time. I've watched a couple other people's anticipated 2026 releases, and I have curated my own list. You can find it in the description box down below. I do have it shareable for all of you guys, and I will continue to try and update this throughout the year and put trailers and reviews with each film as we go along. But I am ready and we're going to dive in because this is 7 pages long, and I have 3 releases already, but these were really highly anticipated films for me, and I've seen 2 out of the 3 so far. So, number 1, I have 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple, which was directed by Nia DaCosta. This was a January release, and I was really excited about this film because it was continuing Danny Boyle's franchise of 28, weeks, days, years, kind of continuing that on. I do like Nia DaCosta because she just did Hedda with Tessa Thompson, which I was a big fan of. I also didn't mind The Marvels, and I've never seen Candyman, but I've heard some pretty good things about that film. Of course, we have returning cast Alfie Williams, Ralph Fiennes, and Jack O'Connor, who made a little appearance at the end of 28 Years Later. He's coming to be the villain in this one. I love this film. This is personally my favorite film of the year so far, and I know a lot of people are now saying something else has been pushed this one out of first place, but this is still first place for me. You can find my review down below in the document or on Letterboxd. Then the next film I had that was really anticipating was The Bride, because I was really excited about it last year, directed by Maggie Gyllenhaal. Love the idea of The Bride of Frankenstein kind of giving a reimagining, kind of this feminist retelling. I've not seen this film yet. It came out a couple weeks ago at the beginning of March to lots of negative reviews, unfortunately. Kind of thought this was going to happen. It was supposed to come out last year, 2025, got pushed several months back to March 2026, which is not necessarily prime time, and had some reshoots, stuff like that. So not the best news coming for your film, and then just didn't get the best of reviews, kind of mixed. I'm still going to see it myself, starring Jessie Buckley, Oscar winner Jessie Buckley, and then Kristen Bale. So I'm still excited about it, and I'm going to give it a watch when I have a chance to. Next, Project Hail Mary, directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller. This one just came out like a week ago in March. They also worked on the Lego movie 21 and 22 Jump Streets, Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, and were producers on the Spider-Verse franchise. This is another adaptation from the books of Andy Weir, and screenwriter once again is Drew Goodman, who did The Martian, which is the last Andy Weir adaptation done. So, very interesting to see this team come back together. We have Ryan Gosling leading. We also have Sandra Hüller, who was nominated, for Zone of Interest and also for Anatomy of a Fall. So, interesting to see this. It has been getting a lot of Oscar talk so far. I don't really think it's going to be an Oscar player, but we can't necessarily deny it. Could have Best Adapted Screenplay, Lead Actor, Sound and Visual Effects, maybe even Cinematography, if that's a reach. I still did really enjoy this film, and I do think it's lots of fun. Did get to see it on IMAX, which it was filmed for, and I would like to see it again. But again, it has not outranked 28 Years Later, Bone Temple, in my personal opinion. So those were the released films that I have been anticipating, and now we're going to go into the to be released. So all of these films have a promising release date. We're going to start with Mark by Sofia Coppola. I do have a reaction to the trailer on my YouTube channel, so go check it out. I'll also link it down below. This is coming out March 27th. This is coming to TIFF Lightbox, I believe. first week of April, could be this last weekend as well. Gonna have to double check. Of course, Lost in Translation, Virgin Suicide, Priscilla, same director, but she's entering a different medium of doing documentary instead of narrative storytelling. But, with Priscilla, also with the bling ring, she's kind of dived into the world of fashion. So I'm going to be excited to see what she does with this documentary, focusing on the designer Marc Jacob. Again, I am a big fashion girly as much as I am a movie girly, so very excited. Sofia Coppola is also one of my favorite directors of all time, so I'm always excited for her new projects. Next, I have the drama directed by Christoph Bagoli. I loved Dream Scenario. Really big fan of that film. I do want to watch Sick of Myself before the drama comes out on April 3rd. This is starring Zendaya and Robert Pattinson. Seems to be kind of like this wedding drama, very unexpected, possible maybe like thriller aspect to it. People have been saying there's a big twist to it, so I'm very excited. It's also like an original screenplay, so it seems to be quite compelling. Could be a first big, kind of like spring, summer blockbuster hit. I believe it's A24, I think, is doing it. It's being released by VVS Productions here in Canada, so I'm excited for it. It's definitely something hot on my radar, as Dream Scenario, I think, was either my first or my second favorite film of, I think it was 2024 when it came out. So I was a big fan of that film. Really did like it. I think it was in my top three. Might have been, yeah, it was in my top three, I'm pretty sure. So very excited for this one. Next film I'm pretty excited about is Outcome. This is directed by Jonah Hill. It's going to be an Apple TV film, so I don't know if it's going to be very promising. I think it's getting like a small little theatrical window, or it might just be going on to Apple TV. I'm not 100% sure. The cast looks pretty fantastic. It's Keanu Reeves, Cameron Diaz, Matt Bomer. We also have Carrie Christopher is going to be in it, who was in Weapons, like the young little guys. So I feel like this is going to be a pretty, like, maybe like middle of the road film. It's about this like washed up like movie star who's played by Keanu Reeves. Apparently, he had this like heroin addiction that him and his friends, who are his lawyers, helped him cover up. And I was trying to like come back for some roles and stuff like that. But then a video of him gets leaked and he's canceled essentially. So I'm pretty excited about this one. Kind of reminds me of Dream Scenario, if I'm actually being honest. Now that we were just talking about that film, but I feel like this one could be interesting. I do like Jonah Hill and his comedy, and of course, like I said, I think this is a pretty fantastic cast. So I think I'll definitely give it a watch. It's on my watch list. Another film I'm really excited about is The Mother Mary, directed by David Lowery. This has been on my radar for like 2 years, I think, since it's been announced at least. This is another film that I'm a little worried about because it has been pushed back quite a lot, and it's been going through reshoots and stuff, and there's been some pretty negative stuff said about it. Seems like it might be a little bit of a mess with production issues, but this is the same director as The Green Knight, A Ghost Story, so I think this could be very interesting. It has Anne Hathaway, McKenna Cole, Hunter Schafer, FKA Twigs, kind of like this musical opera type thing. So coming out in April, very, very excited, but I feel like it might flop unfortunately, but I will go see it because I've been waiting and waiting and waiting for this musical artist, manager, sapphic story to grace my screens. And I think it will at least visually look really cool with the costumes and like the cinematography and the lighting. So I'm excited about that. Might have a little bit of like a thriller horror aspect to it, maybe little Neon Demon esque. So I'm excited. Next film on my list is called Is God Is, which is directed by Alicia Harris. This is coming out May 15th. This is her directorial debut and is based on the play of the same name that she also wrote. It stars Cara Young, Mallory Johnson, Janelle Monáe, and Sterling K. Brown. It's coming from Amazon MGM and it's going to be in a theatrical window from Orion Pictures. This looks like a revenge thriller, kind of horror, kind of like female empowering. Very, very exciting. I watched the trailer. I was a big fan of it. I love Janelle Monáe. I love Sterling K. Brown. So you got me sat. I'm definitely going to be watching this one. Apparently, I can't remember which festival it premiered at, but apparently from since the trailer's been released, it looks very different from what people saw at the festival. So I'll be intrigued if they're just kind of marketing and hiding some of the twist or something, or if they did make some executive changes. But I'm definitely excited for this new film, and I will be watching it when it comes out in theaters. Next film is Fjord. Hopefully, I'm pronouncing that correctly. Directed by Christian Mangoni, and this is a Romanian director, and it's has Sebastian Stan and Renata Reinsve in the leading roles, and they play a Romanian Norwegian couple. They have a family, and they immigrate from Romania to Norway, and they don't speak Norwegian, so they kind of speak English. Apparently, the film is mainly going to be in the English language, but I think it'll probably flip flop between Romanian and Norwegian as well, maybe a couple other Scandinavian languages too. And it seems like it's going to be kind of dealing with immigration crisis and xenophobia and kind of how you can assimilate into a new culture once you've left your old culture. So definitely very excited for this one. Sebastian Stan, been on the radar the last couple of years in the awards field. Same with Renata Reinsve, just was nominated, for Best Actress for Sentimental Value. She also has a couple other films this year too that are also on my list, so we will mention them later, but I'm definitely really excited about this one. Christian is also heavily involved in the Cannes sphere, so that's why I have it here in the May slot. It does have an August France release date, but I feel like this one will probably be going to Cannes because Kristen has had most of his films all premiere at Cannes, and he's also won the Palme d'Or in 2007 for his film 4 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days. So I definitely think this has a really good chance at the international Oscar, in like international feature, and maybe even for Sebastian and Renata later for actor, actress, and maybe screenplay. Definitely think this needs to be on people's radars, and I'm excited to see if it gets that Cannes slot. I definitely think it has a really strong possibility as long as it's done all of its post production by May. But I'm pretty sure they finished all of their filming in December 2025. I think they wrapped up before the end of the year. So fingers crossed it's done by May. And I guess they could always make slight little changes too after the festival, but definitely something I'm really excited for. Another film that is rumored to be having a Cannes premiere, so I have it here in the May slot, is Her Private Hell, which is directed by Nicholas Winding Refn. Hopefully, I pronounced his name correctly. He has done Only God Forgives with Ryan Gosling and The Neon Demon with Elle Fanning, and he did Drive, which is also Ryan Gosling. So pretty prominent, but kind of maybe underrated. Does a lot of more violent and horror thriller aspect films, not necessarily mainstream, but has a lot of critical response and reception to his craft. So I feel like this could be similar. Has a really incredible cast with a lot of young up and coming artists who are kind of really trying to make their way and cement themselves. They've been doing a lot of projects. So we have Sophia Thatcher, we have Charles Melton. Love Charles Melton. We have Havana Rose Liu, also big fan of her. She's in Tuner later this year. We have Kristen Forroth, which I like. She was in The Society, I believe, and she's been in a couple other things too. We have Diego Calva. So very excited for this film. It's going to be produced by Neon. So Neon has a really good chance with Cannes with the Palme d'Or, so I'll be interested to see if this does, officially get the slot at Cannes. And apparently, this is a high stakes drama with glitter, a lot of sex, and violence. So, kind of really, kind of represents the Neon Demon, I think, to a T, probably. So, that one's there. I have I Love Boosters, which is Boots Riley, coming May 22nd. He has also done Sorry to Bother You, which was also pretty critically acclaimed. We have Keke Palmer, Will Poulter, Demi Moore, Lakeith Stanfield back again working with Boots. We have Taylor Page, who just did It, Welcome to Derry, loved her in that. Again, another neon film, and it premiered at South by Southwest just a couple weeks ago, or maybe it was last week actually. I think it kind of had some mixed receptions, but this is definitely a film I'm still excited about. I think it's going to be something I'm going to enjoy, and kind of lots of colors and fun costumes and makeup. So, kind of like quirky. And if you've seen Sorry to Bother You, I think you will know what to expect from Boots Riley. So, very excited. And then I would say this film is probably my most anticipated film of the year. I am so excited for this film, and that is Backrooms from Kane Parsons. This comes May 29th. This is from A24, and I am so excited for this film. This is kind of an adaptation from the concept of Backrooms, liminal space, specifically Kane Parsons' YouTube series that he created under Kane Pixels on YouTube over a course of, I feel like, 5, 6, 7 years. He kind of created it, and halfway through, he was kind of pitched from A24, and they were like, let's make this into a feature film. So another film with Renata Reinsve in it. Very excited. We also have Chiwetel Ejiofor, and first time director, horror, kind of original-ish concept. I definitely think this is going to make a lot of money at the box office. I'm definitely going to be there. I'm so excited. I think this is going to be really cool visually. Little outfit change. I ran out of storage on my phone, so we are now getting back to our next film on my most anticipated list, and that would be Supergirl, which is directed by Craig Gillespie. This is coming out on June 26th. I am very excited about this. This is going to be the follow up to James Gunn's Superman that came out last year with David Cornsweet, and we had Millie Alcock appear at the very end as Supergirl, as Kara. So I'm very excited. Craig has worked on I, Tonya, Cruella, and Dumb Money. So I would say some pretty big hits. I, Tonya, and Cruella definitely made a good amount of money. Dumb Money, I think, just kind of like slid under the radar, but I feel like a lot of people did enjoy it in the festival circuit. If I'm remembering correctly, it had some big people in it, like Paul Dano, I believe. So definitely excited for this one. The trailer looks fun, and I'm a big fan of Millie Alcock. I really liked her in Sirens, and I also enjoyed her in House of the Dragon. So I'm excited about this one. I'm going to go see it, definitely. I'm excited for more crypto as well, and I think we'll have a lot more crypto in this film compared to Superman. And I feel like he was in Superman quite a bit. So I'm always for more crypto, and I'm pretty sure Superman Davis Cornsweet is confirmed to be in this one, so that's exciting. We also have Jason Momoa, I believe, is going to be the villain, so another big, action star. Of course, he was Aquaman, so it'll be interesting to see him still in like the DC universe, but like in this new rebranded James Gunn DC universe. So I'm interested to see what happens, because I'm pretty sure he's not playing Aquaman. I'm pretty sure he's playing a villain. So exciting. Next on my list, I have The Invite from Olivia Wilde. Very excited. I'm a big Olivia Wilde fan. I loved Booksmart, one of my favorite movies of all times. Don't worry, darling. Not as much. Don't love it. I think the concept was pretty good. I think Florence Pugh was fantastic in the film, but seems like this one is kind of leaning a little bit more into her critical reception that was with Booksmart, so more positive, more witty, and intriguing. This was at Sundance earlier this year. Great reception, was in a bidding war between A24, Focus Features, and Warner Brothers, and A24 ended up acquiring it for around $12 million, so that's pretty good for an independent film. It stars Olivia Wilde as well. She usually kind of makes an appearance, but no, like she doesn't. She's actually wasn't in Booksmart. She wasn't in Don't Worry, Darling. So interesting to see her kind of stepping back into the acting role when she was also behind the camera as the director. So that's kind of intriguing. I'm very interested now. And we have Edward Norton, Seth Rogen, Penelope Cruz. Really great ensemble there. And it seems like it's going to be about like swingers. So I'm definitely excited for this mature adult comedy drama. Definitely think this will be something I'm interested in, and I hope it comes to theaters near me. I feel like I might go to one of my independent cinemas, but it is A24, so who knows? Might go to the Cineplexes near me. Of course, I think this one is on most people's list. I have Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey. This is follow-up from his Oscar-winning Oppenheimer, where he won Best Feature. He won Adapted Screenplay. I believe it was Adapted Screenplay, and he won Director. So really big. And then, of course, Cillian Murphy won for lead actor. So it was basically a sweep in the crafts and below the line as well for Oppenheimer. So this is a big follow up. Very, very intriguing. Coming out July 17th. This is going to be a huge, big weekend. Of course, a lot of people already have their tickets. There was a year in advance pre-sale. I did not get my ticket, kind of regretting because I wish I had one of those cool Odyssey stubs. Really fun. I love kind of like getting people excited to go to the movies as well. This is a huge, big, grand story. Of course, the original story, big adaptation. This is going to be a big Oscar player. People are wondering if this will be as strong of a follow up, or maybe a lean a little bit more towards like Tenet, which wasn't like a huge box office critical reception. But I definitely think it's going to have the grandiose of Oppenheimer, huge cast, Matt Damon, Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, like that's just a few people. It's literally huge. We have Zendaya, we have Robert Pattinson, Rebecca Ferguson, I think, is in it too, is she? We have lots of big people in this, so very, very exciting. The teaser trailers look really, really good, so definitely something on my radar, and I think on most people's radar, so very, very exciting. And another exciting film is Teenage Sex and Death at Camp Masaima. Is that how you say it? I don't think I'm pronouncing that part correct, but this is Jane Schoenberg's follow-up from I Saw the TV Glow, which I loved. Really big fan of that film. Really cool concept, kind of like this horror, grungy feeling. And I'm definitely interested in this one. The trailer looks so fun. We have Gillian Anderson and Hannah Einbender in this with a psychosexual mania sapphic love story. I'm very, very excited. Seems like it's going to play on tropes of like slasher, final girl, so definitely going to be intriguing. We have Mubi backing it, and we also have Brad Pitt's producing Plan B company on it as well. So it seems like it has like an all right backing, but we'll see. Mubi can be hit or miss. Like we haven't really had a good Mubi production since like The Substance, with marketing, box office, everything from Mubi kind of flops. So be interesting to see if this kind of makes a difference. I feel like this is kind of like off the beaten path, so it might be just kind of like a small branch of people who go out and enjoy this, but I'm definitely going to be one of the people who's there August 7th watching this film. Also in August, we have Coyote versus Acme, and this is directed by Dave Green, coming August 28th, so at the end of the month. I'm so excited for this film. I loved Looney Tunes the day the Earth blew up. I believe that's what it was called, right? Came out. It was last year or 2 years ago. I think it was 2 years ago now. Went and saw it in the theaters, had a great time. It was, like, me and just, like, 2 other people, a dad and his, like, young kid, and they were laughing the entire time, so it just made my experience, like, even more enjoyable. So, very excited about this. Has a really big story of how Warner Brothers shelved it for tax incentives in 2023, and then Ketchup Entertainment acquired it after Looney Tunes kind of like did well. So they're like, let's take this one and release it as well. And very excited that it's not going to be shelved and that the Looney Tunes franchise can kind of keep going forward and have its moment in the spotlight, because it really is funny when you're able to use it in the right way and do a good story. So I'm excited about this one. It has Will Forte, John Cena, Lana Conrad, and seems like it's going to be a fun little end of the summer flick. So I'll definitely be catching it. Also, near the end of the summer, leading into Labor Day. I'm pretty sure Labor Day is late this year, and we have Sense and Sensibility from Georgia Oakley, September 11th. Ooh, September 11th. Interesting anniversary as well, but very excited for this film. I don't know why I thought about that, but um, this is a book adaptation of Jane Austen, also going to be a remake because we do have Ang Lee's 1995 film with Kate Winslet and Emma Thompson. So interesting that we now have Daisy Edgar Jones, and we also have George Mackay, and we also have Fiona Shaw. So it'll be a very interesting retelling. I'm sure it'll still be fun. I do love me some Jane Austen films. I'm never like entirely upset when they remake them. I feel like sometimes they even do them a little bit more true. I have heard amazing things about Georgia Oakley as a director. I've not seen Blue Jean, but I'm definitely going to have to watch it before this film comes out. I've heard really good things about it, so I'm excited about this one. I think it's going to be fun, and I think it will be hopefully at least, the lighting is good. If they get the lighting wrong, then never mind. They can just throw it back into the trash, you know? Another film, I'm excited, getting closer to Halloween. We have Digger from Alejandro Gonzalez Inarritu. Sorry, definitely butchered that part of the last name, but very excited about this one coming October 2nd. And we have Tom Cruise, Jesse Plemons, Sandra Hüller, Riz Ahmed, Emma Darcy. Stacked cast, guys. And Alejandro has done Babel, Birdman, and The Revenant, so a big Oscar play as well. Definitely Tom Cruise going for that Oscar leading man. He's in old age makeup, apparently playing like an 80-year-old. I think the synopsis is really interesting too. The most powerful man in the world proves he is the savior to humanity. Sounds really intriguing. The fact that he's playing an 80-year-old. I also thought the whole like teaser trailer releasing like the title was really cool, with him kind of like dancing around with the shovel. Very intriguing visuals, so definitely on my must watch for 2026 for sure. Also on my must watch, only a week later, October 9th, is The Social Reckoning from Aaron Sorkin. Very, very excited about this. This is going to be the Social Network's companion piece. That was David Fincher, that came out in 2009, 2011. I can't remember what year it came out in. But this is going to be like a follow up, and Aaron Sorkin's is taking it on. This time he's writing and directing. We have a whole new cast. It's not going to be Jesse Eisenberg or Andrew Garfield, but we have Jeremy Strong, who is going to be playing Mark Zuckerberg, and then we have Jeremy Allen White and Mikey Madison in here as well. And this is going to be about the 2021 Facebook leak by whistleblower Francis Hude, and that's going to be who Mikey is playing. And then this is all kind of like explored in the Wall Street Journal, and we have Jeremy Allen White going to be playing Jeff Horowitz, who was a journalist at the Wall Street Journal. So very interesting. Let's see how this lives up to The Social Network. Of course, really big film. It was not recognized by the Academy, or it wasn't like given Best Picture. Can't remember if it was snubbed or if it just like wasn't given Best Picture and something else got it. I feel like it was snubbed. I can't remember. People let me know in the comments. I'm sure you guys will tell me. But great film. So really hard to live up to it, but I do like Aaron Sorkin, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. Of course, really big fan of both of Jeremy's. They just did um, Bruce Springsteen's Deliver Me From Nowhere, which did terribly. So we'll see what happens with that. Hopefully, they can bring people to the theaters and get people to watch it. Next film on my list is Wild Horse 9, which is Martin McDonagh. This is November 6th release date, and this is going to be Sam Rockwell, John Malkovich. We have Steve Buscemi. We also have Parker Posey. The trailer just came out. Looks so fun. It's Searchlight Pictures. It's very much a black comedy. These CIA agents are kind of on this road trip. Lots of thriller vibe. So very exciting. This is coming from Martin McDonagh, like I mentioned, and he did three billboards outside Ebbing, Missouri, and the Banshees of Inisheer. Both films really big Oscar players. Of course, Banshees of Inisheer's got nothing after they got a bunch of nominations. They didn't take a single Oscar home that night. So we'll be interested to see what this film's kind of like, and I'm very excited for it. Obviously, November release date. It's trying to have some sort of awards play, so I'm excited. Searchlight Pictures can be pretty strong, I think. Moving into the end of November, the American Thanksgiving big release weekend, we have Fokker in Law from John Hamburg. Very excited. November 25th. This is going to be on the Wednesday of the American Thanksgiving. So they have the 5-day box office vacation return. Definitely think this is going to go for big bucks. And why not? It's the fourth film in the Meet the Parents, Meet the Fockers franchise. We have all the cast returning: Robert De Niro, Terry Pole, Terry Polo, Ben Stiller, and then we have new cast. We have Skylar Gisgondo. Totally butchered his name, but he was in Superman. He was also in Booksmart. He's been a lot of great stuff. Really love him. We also have Ariana Grande, in something else other than Wicked. Excited to see her do more of her comedic chops alongside Skylar and all of these, legendary actors. Definitely think this is going to be big for Universal and Paramount Pictures. I think this is going to make a lot of money. I don't think this, maybe like Golden Globes, awards chances, maybe for the acting and maybe like writing and stuff like that, but I don't think for Oscars and stuff, but never say never. You never know what'll happen, but I definitely think this will be a big box office player. Another possible big box office player is Dune Part 3 Messiah from Denis Villeneuve. Very excited. We love my Quebec quad director. I love Dune Part 1, Part 2. Part 2 is definitely my favorite. So I'm excited about this new one. Check out my trailer review. It's on my channel right now. So go give it some love. This is coming out December 18th. Oh my goodness. It's like 9 months away. I can't believe it's so far away. Big returning cast: Timothy Chalamet after his 2-year loss at Best Actor. We'll see if he can get it for this one. I don't think they're going to nominate him for Paul Atreides for Dune Part 3. I don't think it's going to happen, but you never say never. Like I said, Zendaya, Florence Pugh, Rebecca Ferguson, Robert Pattinson, Anna Taylor-Joy. Like, oh my goodness, it's going to be a packed year. We have so much hype surrounding this film. Of course, people are wondering like what the Oscar play is going to be. I think probably just crafts. I feel like it was probably going to be less compared to what they had Part 2. I think we have a completely different sound like composer, and or maybe is it Hans Zimmer again? Actually, I think it's a different cinematographer. I think Hans Zimmer's coming back, but I think it's a different cinematographer. So it'll be interesting to see what the film looks like, if they add more fights in this, like because I'm pretty sure this book is a little less like fight heavy. So I'm interested to see how they're going to get people's butts into seats a week before Christmas. So interesting. I'll definitely be there. I'll be watching it, but we will see. It's a busy time of the year. People might have to push it off, me including. Hopefully not. I hopefully will be there December 17th or 18th or even before. If people want to send me to the June premiere, send me. Go contact my email. It's down below in the description box because I would love to see Dune early. So, very excited. And then my last film on my anticipated releases is Werewolf from Robert Eggers, his second December Christmas Day release, following Nosferatu. This is going to be exciting. Definitely featuring horror and folktale. A lot of people are thinking it's going to be similar to The Northman, which I think is, understandable because it's going back to the same screenwriter, which is Songe. Totally probably butchered their name. I'm so sorry. I'm really bad at pronouncing people's names, but I think this is going to be exciting. I think it's going to lean definitely probably still have similarities to Nosferatu, but I think it'll have more of the Northman, maybe more of the Witch. So very exciting. Again, lots of returning cast from Nosferatu. We have Aaron Taylor Johnson, Lily Rose Depp, Willem Dafoe. We also have a newcomer, Bodhi Ray Brethnak, who I wanted to point out. She's also going to be in Sense and Sensibility that's coming out in September that I mentioned before. And she was in Shelter with Jason Statham that came out in February or January. And she was great in that film. And she was also in Hamnet as one of the daughters. She was the oldest daughter. She has a really small part in that, but I'm definitely keeping my eye on Bodhi Ray Brethnak because she's in a lot of films this year, big directors, big profile. So I think she's definitely going to be somebody to keep your eye out for. All right, so that's all the releases. Now I have to be dated. So I have a couple that I'm really excited about. They're rumored to come out this year. Maybe they'll get pushed to 2027, but I had to go through them. Archival, which is Luca Guadagnino's follow-up to After the Hunt, which I really liked, but critically it was panned. Didn't do very well. And of course, Queer also didn't do very well. I love that film. Fantastic. Challengers did pretty well. Really big, kind of trend of that whole summer. Didn't do well award season at all. So we haven't really seen Luca do well in awards season since Call Me by Your Name, but I love Luca. I think all of his stuff is really fantastic. He's definitely a director that I mash with, and this is great cast. Andrew Garfield, Monica Barbaro, Jason Schwartzman. We have Cooper Koch, really excited about that too. Billy Lord, love her. So, really excited about this film. It's going to be about the OpenAI CEO, Sam Altman, when he was fired and then drastically rehired in 2023. So, all about that drama, kind of like highlighting the rise of AI. I think it's supposed to be a little bit of satirical, maybe play, leaning into the biopic, but I'm hopefully knowing Luca definitely be some sort of commentary. I don't think it should be just a straight biopic, but we will see. I'm not sure who's doing the screenplay on this one, so I'll be interested to see if he's teaming up with an old screenwriter. The screenplay is by Simon Rich, and he's a writer for SNL, but he's not worked with Luca. So we will see. We will see what happens. I'm still excited. I think it'll be fun, but little worried just because it's like like a fresh screenwriter, and we never know what's gonna happen with that. Next on the list is Basic, directed by Chelsea Devenetz, and this is her directorial debut. Premiered at South by Southwest. It stars Ashley Park, Leighton Meester, Taylor John Smith, Kate Kinder, and really excited about this. Mark Platt is a producer, so I feel like this is going to get a release date. I really hope so, but I wanted to talk about it because I've heard really good things about it. I think the concept is really interesting, and I definitely love like the visuals and like the brief little like snapshots that we've had of it so far look really cool. So I love the idea. A girl spirals when her boyfriend won't post her on his social media. So she finds his old ex-girlfriend and basically sees that he used to post her all the time and she's the most hottest, like basic girl there can be. So, she kind of like questions herself. It's about a story about like self-discovery, stuff like that. So, really interesting. Definitely a film that's going to be on my radar for 2026. Next, I have Ink, which is Danny Boyle's new film. We have Jack O'Connell, we have Guy Pearce, Claire Foy, really standout cast. This is going to be his follow up from 28 Years Later. Didn't do 28 Years Later Bone Temple, so interesting to see this is what he was doing with his time. Of course, I really like Danny Boyle. I think he's a pretty great director. This is going to be an adaptation from the stage play, and it's about the 1969 negotiation of Robert Murdoch purchasing the failing paper The Sun from their parent paper The Mirror, and he approaches the Daily Mail's northern editor, Larry Lamb, to become his editor for The Sun during its relaunch. And begrudgingly, Larry agrees to the job. And we have Larry being played by Jack, and we have Rupert Murdoch being played by Guy Pearce. So I think this is going to be really fun. I think it's in post-production right now, so I don't know if it'll come out this year. It might come out 2027, but I've heard a lot of people talking about it, so I wanted to mention it. Next on my list is I Want Your Sex, the new Greg Araki film, Sundance premiere. I've been waiting for this. It was supposed to come out last year, got pushed to this year. So hopefully Magnolia Pictures knows what they're doing and we get a release date maybe this summer, in the fall time. Definitely really want to see it. Great cast of Olivia Wilde, Cooper Hoffman, Mason Gooding, Chase Sue Wonders. Again, she's going to have a great year. She's in a lot of films. David Diggs, and we have Charlie XCX. So I'm really excited about this film. It's also co-written by Carly Cinternoe. Sorry, guys, I'm bad with these names. And she was on Vice. She was like a slut ever. Was that her slogan? She had a TV show and also like a column on Vice. So really loved her. Followed her for like over 10 years now. So fun to see her, writing a film along with Greg. So very excited about it. And the synopsis is Hoffman lands a job for a famous and provocative artist, played by Wilde, and his fantasies come true as he becomes her sexual muse. So, seem interesting. It probably will be a little dark. We always know Greg, but I think it'll definitely be something that stands out. Another film that's definitely standing out this year is Josephine from Beth D'Argou, and this is Gemma Chan, Channing Tatum, and introducing Mason Reeves. This is a huge hitter at Sundance. It won the Grand Jury Prize, and it was also nominated for the Golden Bear at Berlin's Film Festival. And this has been getting a lot of talk. I've seen a couple spoiler reviews on it, and I don't know if this is one that I feel like this is going to be something I'm going to have to watch at home, but I feel like I can't not watch it because I feel like this is definitely one of the biggest films of the year. And it's a young girl and she goes to the park with her dad, like on like a run or a walk or something, and she got separated from her dad while she's in the park, and she witnesses a brutal sexual assault take place. And it's very much a thriller, kind of like a court case, and this girl has to go through this really traumatic process and relive it during the court case. So some people are saying there's awards potential, but other people think it might be too jarring for people to watch. That's kind of where I'm leaning. I'm like, do I really need to watch this film? Especially when people say the first 15 minutes are just really brutal. So I feel like I had to mention it just because it's such a big, hotly talked about film so far since the beginning of the year. So really great cast as well. I love Gemma Chan, love Channing Tatum. It's always interesting to see a new young face come on the Hollywood scene as well, specifically through Sundance too. So Josephine will definitely be in my back pocket. I'll be thinking about it. Ooh, getting to the end of my list, we have October, which is Jeremy Snoller. This is an A24 film, and Jeremy has done Green Room, and he did Rebel Ridge, the Netflix film, which was really big. I think it won like a couple awards as well, and I love this cast. Again, we have Chase Sue Wonders, so really interesting. She's in a lot of stuff. We have Corey Michael Smith, who I've loved since Gotham. He's worked with Todd quite a few times. He was in May, December, and he was also in Carol too. Loves working with Todd. So really interesting to see Corey Michael Smith get more stuff. Seems to be his really first big role. He was in 1984 as well, which is a really great film people should go check out. We also have Imogen Poots, who was great in The Chronology of Water earlier this year. I had to mention as well, Matty Matheson's going to be in this. So this is something I'm really interested in. It's going to be kind of like this Halloween fugitive horror action thriller. There's not much about it. There's kind of like one image of Corey. So I'm really excited about it. I'm intrigued. Rebel Ridge, was a really promising film. So I definitely think Jeremy has us, has us sat. And hopefully this is like an October release. So it fits in perfectly with the whole Halloween October title as well. All right, and now we're wrapping up my list. My last title here is Rose, which is directed by Marcus Squitzner. I'm sorry. This is starring Sandra Hüller, Carol Braun, and Goldhard Geese. Really interesting. She won the Silver Bear for Best Leading Performance at Berlin. We love Sandra Hüller, so I definitely think this could have some potential awards prospects. Last year at the Silver Bear, went to Rose Byrne for If I Had Legs, I'd Kick You, and that really helped her ride the rest of the festival circuit. And she got nominated for the Oscar, and she was definitely, second up, even though it was like a really big, I think, span between her and Jessie Buckley. She was definitely in second place, and she got a Golden Globe win alongside Jessie. So I definitely think Sandra Hüller, she's had awards prospects. She's been nominated before. She has other films this year, Project Hail Mary. She's also in another film that I mentioned on my list. I can't remember so many films, but I definitely think this is an interesting concept. It's set in the 17th century, follows this character Rose, who disguises herself as a male soldier during the 30-Year War, and this is taking place just after the 30-Year War. So she's had this kind of like independence, and she's trying to lay stake to this like farm land by saying it's like part of her ancestral rights. So very interesting to see this kind of concept of like a female disguising herself for like independence and suffragette. So very, very intriguing. Definitely something I'm going to try and catch. Hopefully it will get more of a widespread theatrical window because it is Sandra Hüller. I hope it's not just kind of like a German release because it is like a German director went to Berlin. So I'm really hoping it gets more of a widespread outreach because it sounds really cool. I've heard really great things about it from people who saw it at Berlin. So I'm really excited. All right, that is my entire list of my most anticipated 2026 films. Of course, there's other films like I'm excited about Avengers Doomsday. Excited about Spider-Man. There's other films, that I'm definitely excited about, but these are like hotly anticipated. Definitely have like I'm going to be thinking about them, for the months to come until they come out. So I wanted to make this video because I thought it would be a fun idea to introduce you guys to some more titles that are coming out later this year, maybe possibly 2027. Hopefully they're all 2026 releases, but might be a couple 2027 because some of these 2026 releases got pushed from 2025. So we will see what happens, but I'm very excited about these films. Let me know what films you guys are excited about for 2026 in the comments down below. And while you're at it, make sure you give a like to the video and make sure you hit the subscribe button and post notification button so you don't miss out on any of my film and pop culture content as I post it. Also, give me some love on my other social media accounts. You can find me all at Willow D. Steele on all the different platforms: Letterboxd, Serialized, the Awards Expert app, TikTok, and Instagram. give me some love, guys. I'm really appreciative of all the engagement and support, as it really helps to push me out into the algorithm. It helps me meet other like-minded folks in the cinema loving community. So thank you guys so much for helping me grow my channel. I just love film so much, and I'm so excited for 2026 to be another incredible year of film. So thank you guys so much for the support. Until next time, keep getting lost in film, guys. Bye.